It's a goodbye of sorts for one of the most unpopular presidents since approval polls began in Mexico. Enrique Pena Nieto's last State of the Nation address was the chance to defend 6 years marked by corruption scandals, record-level violence and, in his favour, modernising reforms of the education, energy and telecommunications sectors. The latter was, inevitably, what he focused on.
The reforms are without doubt the biggest achievement of this administration and our biggest contribution to Mexico's future.
They came during his honeymoon period, when Time magazine feted him as Mexico's saviour and he seemed able to pull the country's parties together to get things done. Now at the end, the glossy videos playing out his greatest hits can't hide the sense that for years things have been going wrong. It started on a rainy night in Iguala. 43 students kidnapped by the police in league with a gang. They were never found alive. The country was traumatised, but Pena Nieto addressed the crisis reluctantly, with a flawed investigation. A conflict of interest scandal over this luxury house quickly followed. More skeletons began to fall out of the closet.
I think that it was the top of the iceberg. I mean, unfortunately, it's an administration characterized by several corruption practices in the misuse of teachers' payroll, in the misuse of funds for fighting poverty, and several construction projects. All of them have that same characteristic: impunity and corruption.
For those who'd hoped for a modernising leader, it seemed instead like Mexican politics as usual. Suddenly, nothing could go right. Some of the reforms got bogged down. President Trump began sparring with Pena Nieto over trade deals and his proposed border wall. And most importantly, violence began to soar. He finishes his term with the highest murder rate on record.
I'm aware that we didn't manage to bring peace and security for Mexicans in every corner of the country.
Polls show just 2 out of 10 Mexicans think he's done a good job, and his once all-powerful PRI party, Mexico's oldest, languishes in 3rd place in Congress. In first is the fledgling party of this man, President-elect Andrés Manuel Lopez Obrador. He takes over in December, promising to transform Mexico, just as Pena Nieto once did. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.